Hello everybody, it's me, the Minecraft guy, Waddles here. Welcome back, hope you're doing well, hope you're doing swell. I think it's about time for another Villager Guide episode. But first, a subreddit promotion. Slide down to the description and check out r/Waddles if you like what I do, or if you like Minecraft in general. Share the memes, share your builds, everything and anything related to me or to Minecraft. So, episode 3 of the Villager Guide series. Today we'll be breaking down villages, how they work, and even how you could possibly defend a village in your own world. This video will have 3 separate segments. In segment 1, we'll break down the vanilla villages. In segment 2, we'll talk about village mechanics. And then finally, in segment 3, we'll talk about defending villages. If you've been enjoying the series, or if you enjoyed this video at any point, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn the notifications on. I upload Minecraft content every single day of the week, and I try and make sure the content is pretty cool as well. Segment 1, Village Generation and a General Breakdown. There are currently 5 different biomes in which you can find villages in your world naturally. Those biomes are the Desert Biome, the Savanna Biome, the Taiga Biome, the Snowy Tundra Biome, and last but not least, the Plains Biome. Each biome's villages have their own unique structure design. Usually, these structures are based off of resources found in the environment in which the village exists. Now, villages aren't really all that rare, but they're obviously not as common as things like trees and mobs and things like that. Inside of a village, you'll find many different houses and buildings. The amount of buildings that your village has will vary. Some villages generate larger than others. Some of these buildings are simply small houses. This building right here, this is a small house. Inside of a small house, typically you'll find a bed and not much else. Sometimes some decoration, sometimes a chest with some loot, but usually not much. The other main type of building you'll find in towns is workstation buildings. Workstation buildings have a workstation inside of them. Workstations are where villagers are employed. We talked about this in the last episode. Typically, workstation buildings will not have a bed. They will have a workstation and maybe some loot, but no bed. Another shameless plug for my content here, but if you're interested in checking out each and every village structure on its own, laid out in a super flat world, well, slide into my 1.14 playlist, scroll back a little bit, and you should be able to find those videos. Or, you can search on my channel. Villages have some unique characters that will generate inside of them upon their generation. Every village should have one iron golem that spawns into the town. Iron golems are friendly mobs until you punch them. Iron golems will seek out hostile mobs and kill them. Creature number 2 that generates in villages? Well, of course, that is the villager. If everything generated correctly, your town should have the same amount of villagers that it has beds. And finally, inside of your town, you should find some friendly, furry friends. Cats spawn and generate inside of villages. Now, village loot is pretty randomized. In all honesty, you can't really find anything that's all that good inside of a village, other than early game things. The loot will always be in a chest. Typically, the loot, just like the buildings, are biome related. Village loot will also be profession related. For example, if you found a chest in a library, you can expect there to be some paper and some books. To show off another randomized loot chest here, apples, gold, and bread. You see, stuff that is useful, but late game, not really. Moving on to segment 2 of this video, let's talk about some village mechanics now. Villages are determined by these 3 things on screen now. The 3 things are beds, villagers, and gathering site blocks. Not workstations, gathering site blocks. We'll start with the gathering site blocks thing. Honestly, I should be saying block. There is currently only one gathering site block in Minecraft. That block is the bell. Villagers will travel to these gathering sites to gossip. Basically stand, face each other, and make their questioning noise. 2. Villagers. Villagers are the people who live in villages. Not much new to say about them. We've already talked quite a bit about their trades and everything like that in the last 2 episodes. But villagers make up villages. And finally, beds. Beds are very, very important. Now, if we're being honest, with these 3 things, one of these things can actually be crossed off. Every village does not need a gathering site. You don't always need a bell. However, you will always need villagers and beds if you want a village. If you have villagers but no beds, you don't have a village. If you have beds and villagers, you do have a village. The bell is pretty much a bonus point thing, if you will. Now, I have this bed and this villager. You know what I also have? Well, a village. As of 1.14, villages can be one villager and a bed. That's it. That's the only requirement. No skylight or daylight or anything like that. No doors. That's all old mechanics. A village in 1.14 can be a villager and a bed. Now, in all honesty, you will want a workstation with that village as well, so your villager is actually useful, and workstations will keep villagers near the town as well. If I remove the workstation, the villager will begin to wander around aimlessly in a large area. If I place the workstation back, the villager will most likely stay a whole lot closer to its workstation. Do remember that villagers have a day-night cycle. At nighttime, they will sleep in their own bed, and during the day, they will work and gossip. We talked about that in, I believe, episode 1. Village center points are determined by either beds or bells. If your village does not have a bell, the first claimed bed will be marked as that village's center. So, currently, the center of my village is right here. This is the first claimed bed. This villager owns the bed. If I were to add a bed and a villager over here, the center is still over there. Again, that is the first claimed bed. Unfortunately, if you're playing survival, the only way to tell if a bed is claimed or not is by watching the villager at nighttime. Yeah. Kind of weird. So if you found a naturally generated village without a bell, it's going to be pretty difficult to determine exactly where the village's center is. What does the village's center mean? Well, not much in all honesty. The center of the village is simply where the center of the village is. There's not much more to it. Finally, chart time. There is a popularity system within villages. This chart on screen right now is a chart that I obtained from the Minecraft wiki. Players have popularity with villagers. As a player trades with villagers or saves them from raids, their popularity will go up. If a player decides to run around like a crazy man and kill villagers, well, popularity is probably going to go down very fast. If a player's popularity within a village is -15 or more negative, iron golems will instantly aggro to that player. Popularity is tied to an individual player, so your friend can't come in a world, kill all of the villagers, and then they all hate you. They will only hate your friend. Moving on to the last final segment of this video, village defense. This is something that a lot of you guys asked for, so thank you if you were one of the people asking for this. Let's talk about some ways to defend a village. We'll start with the snow golem. Snow golems are an absolutely terrible way to defend villages. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Snow golems will shoot their snowballs at aggressive mobs, but snowballs don't do a whole lot of damage. Maybe you can spawn something absurd like 500 snow golems or something crazy in your village, and then it'll be safe, but snow golems are probably off the table. Iron golems, though, those guys are really strong. Like mentioned earlier, there should be one iron golem in a town already. You could beef your town up by spawning 4 or 5 more, and you should be pretty good. Just remember, villagers and golems have their own AI, and that AI can be a little goofy, so maybe you'll want something a little more predictable. Say hello to the berry wall. If you have enough time and enough berries, you could surround your whole town with a 3-thick wall of berry bushes, and that will actually defend your village pretty well. Any mob that moves through a berry bush will take damage. Mobs will also be slowed down. So you could go ahead and surround your village entirely with berry bushes, and then when you need it, you can punch out some of the berry bushes. If you're doing this method, you should also definitely light up the ground on the inside of your village. Put torches around, make sure everything is safe. I definitely recommend doing this at least 3 blocks thick, maybe 5 if you have the extra resources, and remember that Ravagers can destroy plants, so might be a problem. If you have a lot of blocks, then a wall is always going to work. You can place a wall all around your whole town, and any mobs that spawn on the outside of it will simply not be able to get over it. Make sure you don't leave any areas where creatures can jump up, otherwise your wall is defective, and you'll definitely need to fix the wall up. Fences and proper wall blocks should also work the same, but remember that mobs can shoot over them. If you have pillagers on the outside of your town, they can certainly see right over your walls and fences and shoot at villagers. And one final idea for village defense is the trench. You could dig a trench at least 3 wide all the way around your town and you should be pretty safe. If you go 3 wide with your trench, it should catch any and all Ravagers that might be heading over towards your town in a raid as well. If you place trapdoors on the outside of your trench and then close them, like I've done here, then mobs will see these trapdoor blocks as walkable blocks and try to walk across. They'll walk out here and then just drop right into the trench so you can take care of them at a later time. Or you could be evil and place some lava at the bottom of the trench. That should probably work too. And so, with that, I think that does a pretty good job of explaining what villages are, how they work, and how you can maybe defend them. Obviously, there are so many more ways that you could defend a village, like so many. You could use wandering trader llamas, like there's a lot of options. But these are probably some of the best ways, other than the snow golem, to defend a village. If you happen to have any questions, definitely slide over to the subreddit that I mentioned earlier or down in the comments and ask them, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Keep your eyes out for episode 4. I'm thinking we'll either tackle villager breeding, iron farms, or both. Like, subscribe, check description for links like Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon support if you'd like. I'd appreciate it, and go have a good day. Thanks for watching. My name is Waddles. I'll see you around. Goodbye.